Fellas, welcome to week 12 of Cherry Pickin presented by Owner's Box. Happy Easter to everyone. Glad to have our self-proclaimed goalie expert back. Jer, how you doing this weekend?
Good. Obviously, I couldn't make last week, but I'm back and goalie experts looking. I heard Brody really held the fort last week for the goalie picks, but I'm back. So viewers can be happy about that.
I don't know who gave Brody. Actually, Brody, I'll let you say hi first, and then I'll come in to just absolutely rip you apart.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, not a hot week for me, but I'll lead it. That's okay. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, I just forgot what I was going to say, but I guess we'll go into. He had awful picks. He had no competition. Jer wasn't there. He competed against your host, me, and I absolutely obliterated him. That's not even a word.
So what do you want to know? Does that count towards your record? Like it's
I want to know. I'm undefeated, and I'll probably never do it again. And side topic. I won $20 off our hockey expert. I don't even know who nominated you hockey expert, really. Like, was that you came in and said it? Or?
No, I've never called myself a hockey expert.
I think it was you, Jake.
I think you proclaimed it because I kept beating Jeremy early on.
Okay. Well,
I was 2-0, so you just started saying it. But.
Well, now I'm undefeated, so I'm the hockey expert. No, I'm kidding. I got a mic, so shout out to Owner's Box for sending me one. That's big time. We'll get into things here. Tough look of the week. Superstars, man. They were going a little off. McDavid absolutely gave an flying elbow to Kotkaniemi. And McKinnon, I mean, it wasn't that bad, but he gave a helmet toss to Garland. They both got fined. I think what was crazy about the McDavid one is, I mean, I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. I think the NHL should have done something. I know he's the star of the league. I know, they want him in games, but I don't know. Maybe you just give him one. Because it looked pretty bad. It was kind of late too. It wasn't like it was like he just the puck. He kind of went after him and then he kind of went away and then the flying elbow came up. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that was pretty. I mean, it was pretty vicious. It's not like he did that to just someone who's a dirty player too. He's not causing any harm over there. And I don't know. I know you started the league, but I mean, you can't just go out throwing elbows to guys' heads here.
I think they always treat the stars differently.
Well,
so
for sure.
I mean, it's natural, but I feel like McDavid's usually not in those situations. I don't think he goes into that play trying to do that, and that's just kind of the end result.
But this is, I got two things on this. The first take is, if they're talking about game management with refereeing, is this not game management with the NHL? Which just kind of contradicts itself with the whole Tim Peel thing. Second thing, if Wilson does that, how many games is he getting?
Oh yeah, he's getting so many games for that.
And
You're right.
Imagine if Wilson did that to McDavid,
dude, wouldn't even be close. And the worst thing is too, Jared McCann hit Sanheim from Philly earlier in the year to the head too, and he got fined $10,000. McDavid only $5,000. Not that matters to any of them. It's pennies, but I don't know. They're trying to eliminate things in the game, and the one thing is head contact. I don't know. Maybe make a statement with both those calls, but at the end of the day, we're just bums on a fantasy segment, and the NHL kind of runs the world. So, anyways, we'll get into last week's picks. Unfortunately, Jer wasn't there. He was getting kind of a little butthurt about not doing well, so he had to take a week off, regroup. And I think he's coming back hot this week, but we'll get into last week. Brody, your stud, Mika Zibanejad. Could have been a plug.
Yeah, pick the wrong Ranger.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go into his stats, but he only had one goal. That's about it. My stud, Gabriel Landeskog, was an absolute weapon. Guy was on fire. He averaged 18 fan points in the last 3 games. Had 3 goals, 4 assists, 10 shots on goal. If you listen to me, you got to be thanking me right now in the comments below. Do you have anything you want to say to me, or you just...
No, I mean, congrats. I was due for a loss, so you can take the win here. You can retire 1-0. That's okay. I'm still 4-1 against Jeremy, so I'm keeping my 4-1 record. And yeah, not much else to say there.
Yeah, we'll just remove the hockey expert. We'll just say you're like a hockey, the
hockey guy. Yeah,
insider or what?
Yeah, we'll do insider.
Yeah, thanks. I'll take the insider. I'll break some trades next week.
Both of our plugs, I mean, they weren't anything crazy. Prong had 11 fan points in the last 3 games. He had 1 goal, 3 assists. How about the Blues losing all 3 games last week? That's tough. And Crosby, same thing. Had a big night on Saturday night. But other than that, was really useless for, like Brody mentioned, a top line player. But you still don't call a Canadian icon a plug, especially on a Canadian fantasy segment. Yeah.
I mean, good pick though. Good pick. If you avoided Crosby, you did okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We might have to reword that segment just for him.
Not. Plug's the wrong word. I agree with you.
But then we get into the goalies. This is where it gets fun. Quote unquote, Brody Elliott. He's gonna step in big here. He's got to step in big. He got shelled for 5 or 7 goals against in 5 periods. Got pulled. Luckily, was getting a win against Buffalo, but that's not hard to do these days. And wasn't good the rest of the week.
No, and he got lucky on his win, right? They're down 3-0, and the Flyers have that comeback. So
yeah, I mean, I get the gamble. The gamble's worth it because if he does light it up, he's taking the reins, and they weren't playing good opponents, so I like that. And I picked Jari. He was going to go on to a 3-0 record, but unfortunately, he got hurt. I was predicting 2 shutouts too in that game.
3-0, okay.
But yeah, unfortunately, he got hurt and wasn't able to continue. But yeah, that was last week.
Yeah, you get the win. That's okay. Now on to a new week against Jeremy again. Keep my 4-1 record.
Now I'm all warmed up. I'm ready to go here.
Yeah.
Got 2 weeks to prepare for these picks. I'm ready to go.
You do. I just want to throw in one more thing, not to toot my own horn for like the 7th time on this episode, but I did call Buffalo was going to get a win this week, and they got 2.
Congrats.
Thank you. That's what I was waiting for. Good
for you, Jake. You had a good week. Jake had a good week.
He's feeling himself here.
Well, I got the mic now.
I know he's got the mic. He's buzzing here.
Buzzing. No, now we'll get into this week. I'll stop talking. I'll let the hockey guys figure it out. Let's get into the studs and plugs this week. So, Jer, who's your stud?
So I got Carter Verhaeghe.
Good pick.
The Florida Panthers. I really like him kind of as not a shocker, but you could get him for some good value on Owner's Box. 10.3 points right now this year, averaging. I think the biggest thing I was shocked about was his playing time. Like, this guy's logging 24 minutes some games. He's playing on that line one. He kind of like shifts in between that PP1, but he's not getting too much. But I don't care, just based off how much time he's logging per game here. So I like him a lot. Owner's Box hasn't projected close to 9 points a game, so there is some value here, and he's been going off the past few games. You're seeing some 25-point games on Owner's Box here. So I like Carter Verhaeghe as my stud this week. He's got 3 games this week, so I wouldn't pick him right away as your kind of first forward, obviously, but in an 8-man or 16-man. But get him on the back end, pick you up for the last 3 games, and you're laughing. I like Carter Verhaeghe.
Man, he has a cap hit of $1 million. Like he came out of, he was a Leaf prospect, I'm pretty sure, and they dealt him. And then he did okay with Tampa, and then signed this deal with Florida. And it's just been, I have him in season long, and he's been helping my team immensely.
Whoever picked him up on the waiver wires is like, they're just like in shock. They're just loving this because he's 83% owned. You'd think before the season, this guy wasn't even close to sniffing it.
When I picked him up, and I think I tweeted about it if you follow our Twitter feed. He was like 45. And he was having big time, but everyone thought he was just going to kind of like, simmer down, but he's kind of kept going. Like you said, with the playing time, that helps. But Brody, you want to make a comment on that?
I was just going to say, so Jared, would you pick him in an 8-man on Owner's Box, or just the 16-man?
I would pick him in an 8-man, like to, when you have to finish off like 3 games, like it's just a perfect fit when you need when you have that 4-game last guy and you're like, fuck, like I gotta set him a game. So I think that people are going to avoid him, especially if he has 3 games this week. He won't be a draft. So I think I would pick him as a last forward in an 8-man sort of thing.
Fair enough. He's definitely off the board, right? Like you said, he's not really being taken. The ADP is not really, there's no projection from us since he's not going often. So I like the pick. I get it. I like Florida right now. I think they're fighting for a spot. They've kind of, cemented a place in that division. So I get it, especially, if he's playing with Huberdeau or Barkov and getting minutes there. I'm going to go with Matt Barzal of the New York Islanders. So this guy, it was just, obviously he had a big game this weekend. He's been playing well lately, but his ADP on Owner's Box is 71. So kind of right at the end of those 8-man leagues. I think he's obviously a great player. Like, I think he's one of those guys that, everyone says is underrated, and maybe he's not so underrated because that's always happening. But, Islanders are fighting for their spot kind of in that division as we get closer to the playoffs. similar to Verhaeghe, where he's only got 3 games this week, so it makes him a little less appealing on owner's box. But I'm a fan of Barzal. I'm a fan of him going forward, and I think at that 71 ADP, it's just too low. So I like taking him kind of later on in those 8-man or 16-man. And I think, if you're getting him right around that spot or a little earlier, I think it's a great pick.
Yeah, I think his he seems to be underrated because of the style that they play, right? I think he was on a different team and he was able to use his offensive ability all the time and not really think defensively first, like for say maybe the Leafs or someone like that.
Yeah,
I think he'd be way less, he'd be popping off, but under Barry Trotz, he plays a pretty tight knit defensive style. So I get why people think he's underrated at that standpoint. But yeah, no, I think that's a good pick. I think a lot of teams don't really have too many games this week. I've been looking through a lot and it seems like it's like the 2 to 3 range. I don't know what the deal is, if there's like a mini break in their 50 game season right now, but
mini break, a few COVID outbreaks, but yeah.
Jerry, you want to make a comment on that, or you just disgusted with the pick?
It's just sometimes the Islanders they're such an odd team. The way they play in their offense is just like, but obviously Barzal's a stud, and I can't deny that. But the 3 games does kind of worry me, especially with a guy like Barzal. I definitely wouldn't risk it picking him too early, thinking he's gonna perform all 3 games, because one of those games he's probably not. He's going to have at least one bad game, and then that's, you don't have 4 options here. You only have 3.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Unreal. Jay, I guess we'll go into your plug or what?
Yeah. So I'm taking a hot take here. I'm for the people here, and I'm trying to get these guys some money. So I'm going Paddy Kane as my plug. When will you ever say Paddy Kane is a plug? Probably never, but on owner's box, you might. Obviously he's getting drafted early, first round in a 16-man. People are definitely pushing him in an 8-man first round, I would say. He hasn't been good his last 4 games, 5 points a game. He only has 3 games coming up, and 2 of them are against Dallas. And you'll see my guy here, my goalie, coming up later on. But Jake Ottinger's been manning the net there, and he's probably going to be manning the net in both these games because Khudobin's in COVID protocol. So I'm taking the hot take here. I would avoid him. He hasn't been playing well. Blackhawks obviously have their issues. I believe they have a couple players on COVID protocol too. So he's not going to have much help. So I'm taking the risk. I'm avoiding Paddy Kane, and that's just not me just saying because I want to do a hot take. I would actually myself, I'm going to avoid Paddy Kane. And even in season long, I have Paddy Kane. So this is a take that I actually believe in.
I'm glad you put your blood, sweat, and tears into that take, dude.
I had to explain myself there. You see how I had to freaking bring my pride into this pick.
Yeah, I mean, you can call. I'm a big Hawks fan, so I mean, it's tough seeing that, but we'll let you call Kane a plug because he's not Canadian. But True. Yeah, we'll go from there. I agree. I mean, the Hawks are kind of struggling. He's been carrying their team all season long. He's going to go through a bit of a dry spell, like you said. They're playing Dallas. They don't have that many games. I could see it for sure.
I'm going to say I don't like that. I think the 15 ADP, so that's where he's going on owner's box typically. I think that's fair. I think you want to, if you're going for a star to avoid, you almost want to get them before the bad games, in my opinion. So if he's on the cold streak now, and I mean, to your point of not having much help, like has he had help throughout the year? It's just, it's him and DeBrincat running the show, right? So the other injuries, I don't know, the other COVID protocol, I don't know how much that impacts him. I'm hoping you're wrong because it kind of can give me an easy win here, but I'm not the biggest fan. But then, I mean, I'm going to make one that I know you're not going to say you're the biggest fan of right here. So my plug of the week, kind of same thing, not a plug. We know that. That's just the name of the segment. Jake can stop ripping on us for that. But I'm going with John Tavares for the Leafs. His ADP is 26.61, which I think is a little too high. Kind of same reason for Barzal. The ADP is too low. I think on Tavares, it's too high. That second line for the Leafs has looked really good with Galchenyuk joining them. Who would have thought that would kind of be the thing to get Tavares and Nylander going a bit more, even strength. But I just think that's too high. I think the Leafs are on a bit of a hot streak. But that's Marner and Matthews. And I mean, the Stars line had a good game 2 games ago for them. But just the type of guy you can get around that range, I think you can just get a better player. So wouldn't be shocked if Tavares was, but he hasn't been, and he's been solid for Leafs this year. But just at that number, I think there's a bit of bias from Leaf fans taking him earlier than maybe he should be going over on the platform. So he's my guy to avoid this week.
Big overvalued guy, eh?
I think so.
No, I agree. I mean, we both know Jared and I are big Leaf fans. You can call him a plug. I have no issue with that, but I'll stop ripping on that because it is the segment. I think it's good. I actually love Galchenyuk fitting in nicely there. I think he deserves a bit. He had 30 tucks a while ago in Montreal. So if he can get on that line, they could be good long term. But I like.
Before Jared rips it, just to give kind of context to it too. So right in the same ADP, you're getting, Crosby's in there, Braden Point, Barkov, Stone. And I think it's just, Tavares is a little too high on the list for my liking right now.
All right. So would you take Crosby or Tavares then?
I'd go with Braden Point. I'll go with Braden Point or
off the board. There you go.
He's avoiding the Crosby.
All right.
No, I'd take Crosby over Tavares for sure. And I mean, that's, Crosby's ADP's kind of gone down in the last week. I don't know if I have some impact on the system there, but, he's down a few now.
He's fluctuating the market now.
Yeah, exactly. Crosby's down a bit more, we're to a more attractive number. Tavares is maybe too high for my liking.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to rip that pick. Obviously, I mean, anyone from the Leafs, though, they're so valuable. But no, I don't like the Leafs. But I think he's not playing on that top line, which always scares you. Like, Matthews and Marner are the talk right now.
Yeah.
Those are the two guys I don't really think of JT really when I'm drafting. Like you said, I'm taking a guy who's playing line one. And you named all guys, studs who play like Barkov. I'm taking Barkov over.
Yeah. Final point. I keep going back. I didn't say everything I want to. The Leafs power play has been atrocious lately.
Oh, yeah.
So if that's where he gets a lot of his value, kind of that power play time, and they're not scoring, I'll avoid until they get that figured out.
Yeah.
I have one last comment, buddy. You're saying Marner and Tavares are the talk of Toronto. How about Hyman, dude? The guy's making the Olympic team.
I don't like that. I hated
James
that
Duthie.
take.
Per James Duthie.
Hated that take. That as a big Leaf fan, Hyman's the fourth best Canadian on the Leafs. We don't. If Hyman makes Team Canada, if he should be on Team Canada, the Leafs should be doing a lot better. If he's our fifth best.
Yeah, that's so true. I don't think. I don't think that's happening. I'll tell you that. But I think that was just to start some conversation.
Oh yeah, dude. They need the views on TSN.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get into the goalies this week. Again, we can either, your stud goalie, you're gonna play him, or plug goalie, stay away from him. We'll go to Brody first. Brody, who's your stud or plug of the week? For
my start for goalies is Philipp Grubauer. Not much of a hot take. The only reason, again, I keep going to the ADP on Owner's Box this week. Right now, he's in the last week the fifth goalie off the board. At his ADP is 19.02. So I think the Avalanche are on a hot streak right now. If he's their guy, there's no reason not to take them. They've got 4 games this week, and none of them are back to back. So you probably see them play 3 of 4. They're against the Wild twice and the Ducks twice. The Ducks are obviously an easy matchup. Wild, they're kind of a little tougher, but by no means one of the top teams. So short and sweet, I can go on with Philipp Grubauer this week on Owner's Box.
Nice. No, yeah. I mean, that really, he strayed far from the path there, man. Good for you.
I strayed far the last 2 weeks with Campbell and Elliott, so I went back to one of the top guys here.
Yeah, I'm going to say mine too, just so that people can rip me for not going off the path as well. I'm going Connor Hellebuyck. I just think at the end of the day, he played the Leafs twice. They had 2 tough losses. The Winnipeg Jets are a good team. They're going to figure it out coming up down the stretch here. He had averaged 25 fan points in 3 games, with 2 of them being losses. He's the Vezina last year. Again, not that far off the board. Do you know what his ADP is?
He's going 4th at it's 18 something, I believe. So right before Grubauer, he's the 4th goalie off the board right now.
So basically, just kind of mimicking what you said. Follow close to the hockey expert, and you should do well. So that's all I have to say. Connor Hellebuyck, book it. Jer.
Yeah, boys. Self-proclaimed goalie expert here. I can't make chalk picks, so I'm going off the board here. I'm going Jake Oettinger. I've been eyeing this guy out. I added him season long, dropped him, and added him back now. Khudobin's now in COVID protocol, and this guy had 42 fantasy points last game. He has 2 games against the Blackhawks. He might get a shutout in one of those games, and shutouts are so valuable. But if he should start both games. If anything, he's gonna get 2 starts this week. They have 3 games, and there's a rest between the Blackhawk game. So I think he's going to play both those. And I really do think that this guy is a must start on Owner's Box. You can get this guy probably last round. He doesn't even have a projection on Owner's Box, which is something we got to fix. But pick him up. pick him up as a last goal. If he gets 2 starts for you, you're laughing because you only get 4 starts in the owner's box. And, those are 2 W opportunities that Dallas is just going to scatter on because this Blackhawks team is not very good.
This is kind of off topic a bit, but what do you do when Bishop gets back?
When Bishop gets back,
do you run the 3 goalies?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do there because Oettinger's been good. He's got 2.32 goals against average. So, but then again, they've been running that kind of 2 goalie system with Khudobin. I think you look for a trade at the deadline, like you would think, right? Like the deadline's coming up. Wouldn't you trade one of your goalies?
So would you trade Khudobin with the cap hit, or would you go
trade? You can't. I don't think you can trade Oettinger just because he's so young and so valuable. Khudobin's getting older. Like I would trade Khudobin. You don't need him. If you have Bishop and Oettinger,
it's just what do you get back? What do you get back for?
Yeah, that's
also,
the problem.
I want to. Did you 3.22 is not a great goals against average. So I think that might be a point for Bishop to have a chance here.
2.32?
Oh, I thought you said 3.
No, 2.32.
What are you talking about, Jared? What are you talking about? Okay.
Yeah, 2.32. Yeah. No, I was like, what?
That's solid. That's solid. I'm like, Jerry, you're talking about a bottom end goalie here. What are you doing?
No, he's been good like pretty much all year. Like he's been pretty consistent, but I mean, Bishop's going to come back, but Bishop's going to have to be eased in.
Yeah, I mean,
but you can't run 3 goalies, so
no,
you can't. Oh well, what can you do? I guess. I guess your comment was the goals against that we fixed. Brody, do you have anything else you want to say to that pick?
We'll see in the replay if you said 3 or 3.2 or if you said 2.3.
Instant replay, we'll get it going there if I said 3.
All I want to say, I don't like it. I kind of, because I don't like the Kane pick this week and they're playing twice, but I get like if you don't like Patrick Kane this week, that makes complete sense. If you don't like the Blackhawks, it completely makes sense. Oettinger is being taken in 2% of owners' box draft, so he's off the board. You can virtually get him in any format. So I get it. I don't like it, but we'll see who's right at the end of the day.
It's like a combo play this week. I'm rather going higher.
Yeah. If you do one, do the other. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Well, that was like last week with the Crosby and Jari, however you say his name. I don't mean to mispronounce it. I will say last thing quickly, just a tidbit. No one really picked up. I know he's kind of a big dog now, but Adam Fox has been on a tear in New York. 11 points, 4 games. Do you guys have any comments on him?
He's been good. Hasn't been good all year. I know he had a hot start and he had a hot really start, good.
But he kind of came out of last year.
He tore it up. No one knew who he was before the start.
Like he's having a breakout year.
Ranger fans I think he's kind of filled in, and D'Angelo was the big offensive D man out there. They really incorporate him into the power play, and even strength too. You see the highlights. He's just he's all over the ice. He makes things happen in front of the net too. He's a finisher, which you don't usually see from defensemen. So he's putting himself into that conversation of kind of the younger offensive defenseman at the top of the league, and good for him. If 11 points in 4 games, that's incredible for anyone, especially a defenseman.
Yeah, 100%.
No, for sure. Oh, go ahead, Jer.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he's the same as his buddy over there, Petrie, but obviously, but Petrie was good last year, but everyone was he's just so like people just don't. Oh, he's not a number 1 defenseman. And look at the points he's putting up here. But Fox is going to be a high draft pick next year. I'll tell you that
he's going to be a high draft pick, and his cap's only 9.25. So he's going to be due for a pay grade in the next year or so. But yeah, cool. Well, I mean, minus happy Easter, everyone. I think that's it. Unless you guys have any final words.
Oh, all good.
That's it. Jared, going to be 5-1.
I want to know. Jared, it was a pleasure having you back. Your smile makes me smile. So.
Carter Verhaeghe has to outperform Paddy Kane this week. That's a pretty hot take.
You're setting yourself up for failure.
I know. I'm setting myself. I need to stop doing it. I'm trying to get the people some money. Okay.
Hey, and that's all we can ask for. We appreciate it. Glad to have you back, Brody. You can hit me with that e-transfer anytime.
Yeah.
And everyone have a great week. And we'll touch base. Stay in tune for the Twitter. I've been dropping some heat kind of studs throughout the week, so do that as well. And we'll tune in next week to see who comes on top. But yeah, everyone else, enjoy.